Well, welcome to May. Hopefully everyone is still well. Miss seeing your faces, being able to conversate with you guys, talk to you, check in and see how things are going. Hopefully things are normal soon. But for now, we're just going to continue with hopefully learning as much as we can from our own homes and staying safe. As you can see on the right hand side here, upcoming calendar, all of these assignments here are going to be closed by the time you listen to this message. So hopefully some of you took advantage of learning about the executive branch and the president, special agencies, political parties, the electoral college, and then learned a little bit more about yourselves. I think you learned quite a bit in these assignments. Over the last 2 weeks, you've been working on service learning. I've seen some wonderful work. I've unfortunately not seen enough turned in. It has me worried. Only about a third of the students have turned in their service learning completely. I've gotten some partial stuff, so I'm going to leave the window for service learning open until the 24th of May. I'll say that again. The service learning window will be open until the 24th of May. All right, but continuing on, we're going to move on to the judicial branch and the crime unit. These units are also going to coincide with the Supreme Court cases. So I'm going to combine them into 2 weeks. So it's all going to be in one folder. You'll see the folder is marked with the dates. This is today, 5/4, and it's going to go all the way through 2 weeks, all the way through Sunday. All right. In this unit, in my opinion, it looks kind of overwhelming, but a lot of these assignments are quite simple. Just as you can see, the judicial branch itself is our system of courts. So you're going to have the Supreme Court, Federal Court, District Court, Circuit Courts, and then the process itself. So these first 5 readings give you the information on the judicial branch itself. Each one of these assignments is a simple PDF reading followed by a series of questions. So for each assignment, you would open the PDF, you would download this document, save it to your computer, make edits to it by adding your answers. If you could do me a favor and change the color of the font when you type, that would be fantastic for me. If not, I'll do my best to check it anyways. You will type in your answers. It's okay if the questions move down the screen. Most of the readings are a few questions, anywhere from like maybe 6 to 10, no more. And then you will upload right in here to the submissions for each assignment. So when you're done with the Supreme Court, you'll submit it right back into the Supreme Court. The way I look at it is these first 5 assignments will probably only take you about 15 to 20 minutes each. So you could be done with these first 5 by Tuesday. We're then going to move on to the crime unit. Once you understand the courts themselves, we're going to get into different types of crimes, civil versus criminal crimes. This is basically on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can look at these 4 assignments, and they're very similar in terms of there's a document for you to look at and read, and then there's a place for you to answer questions. I'll just quickly show you them. For this one, you're going to look at the 2 different articles, and you're going to fill in the chart about the 2 different types of crimes. So in one case, it's going to be a civil case. All right, this article is about a home explosion and the legalities of who is responsible. All right, and then the second article is about a money bank heist gone wrong. All right. And I'm sure you'll all get a kick out of his online screen name, Big Daddy All Day. You'll laugh whenever you read about him. But nonetheless, there's 2 different types of crimes in these 2 different stories, a civil case versus a criminal case. So all I'm going to ask you to do is, when you have this downloaded and saved on your computer, you're going to read from the documents, and then you're going to type your answers in here. Article 1, that should say civil. That's a typo. The first article, you're going to type what happened here. Second article, what happened there. All right, and then for each question, you just continue down. The boxes will expand if you have lots to say. Fill this chart in. Once the chart is filled in, save it, submit it. All right, at the end of this, you should better understand the differences between civil cases and criminal cases. All right, going back into our crime assignments. The next one, trial and sentencing, trial by jury, and what is a crime. All three of these are very similar. They come from an old book that had lots of good information in it. Trial and sentencing and trial by jury are both PDF reading, followed by a series of questions to answer at the end. Save them, submit them. What is a crime is a little bit different. It has the reading, and then this is what we call alpha boxes. It's more about defining each term when you find it. So you'll want to familiarize yourself with the terms first. All right, so assault and battery, blackmail, crime, defense. Any box that doesn't have a word, you just leave it blank. And then again, you'll just type the definition from the text when you find it right here in these boxes. All right, they're all pretty self-explanatory. They're all different types of crimes or things relating to crime. The one that'll probably leave you a little bit perplexed until you find it is 7. All right, XYZ is not a question. All three are blank. There are no terms. U, Q, all of those are blank. All right, so in my mind, by the end of this week, while it seems like a lot, you could have these first 9 assignments done. If you want to leave a few of them until next week, that's fine, because I don't think the landmark Supreme Court cases will take you a full week, but I did it this way because I thought if you wanted to space these out and do one of these a day, you could. That just pushes a lot of this into next week. So in a perfect situation, you'd be at least somewhere in this area between civil crimes and trial and sentencing by the end of this week. And then I think that would leave you in a place where you can get these couple done and then landmark Supreme Court cases. If we were together, you would get into groups and you do a specific case and then you would present it and then you would be exposed to all 10 Supreme Court cases. You'd take a test on them, but we are not in a perfect world right now. So we're going to adapt this, and you're going to open this first document, Supreme Court Case Study Sheet. And then the instructions tell you that you're going to select 2 of these 10 cases. It does not matter to me which 2 you select. If you want to preview them a little bit or just kind of figure out the gist of what they're about before you determine which ones you want to read, or if you just want to randomly pick 2, that's fine. You're going to fill out this sheet. So you're going to download this sheet twice, and then you're going to submit both of them back into here when you've got them done. So your choices, all 10 of these cases, as you can see on the screen here. Okay. All right. And you will complete this document for both cases, and you will know more about 2 of the 10 cases, but that's good enough. You'll understand the significance that the Supreme Court only sees very important cases. The 9 justices only have so many days in a year, and there's thousands of cases asked upon them, but these are some of the ones that have created the most important legislation and case law in our country. So the titles at the top over here is just sort of the prompts, and then in this section, you can leave this prompt here in this section, record the name of the case. You can leave that there. You can type first, but then you can go ahead and delete that out if you want, if it takes up too much space. As you get going further down, it requires more, so these boxes might start shifting on you. That's fine. But just make sure you answer all parts that are being asked. In this section, basic facts of the case. So you're going to need to kind of preview these questions, and then if you want to kind of have them side by side on your screen, fill them in as you go. It's totally up to you. Facts about the case, the issue. This should be written in the form of a question, like what was the legal issue? Arguments, both sides. Obviously, if a case makes it to the Supreme Court, it has passed its way up through the lower levels of court. So you're going to have 2 different sides of what they want to see the Supreme Court decide. So what are the arguments on one side? What are the arguments on the other? And did this case set any precedents? All right, or did it establish any new sort of common ideas? What was the decision? And remember that in a Supreme Court decision, you can have a split 5-4, 6-3, 7-2. So it's very possible that you will see the majority decision and the minority decision. You might want to put them both if they're there. And what rationale was given? Why did the justices side the way they did? And then finally, the impact of this court's decision. All right. If we were together in class, this is probably, you would have been working on this and presenting these. These would have probably taken us a full week. So I'm going to give it time, but I don't think they will take as long just to simply fill in this sheet. You don't have to present anything. You just have to turn it in. If you want some suggestions from me about which cases, you can always send me messages on Remind. And again, once you have both of these, say you do Baker and Carr, Brown versus Board, once they're both done, go ahead and submit them right here. The first one will be worth 25. The second one will be worth 50. All right. Last thing I just want to mention that everybody that's been turning in work, I've been updating the grade book. Many of you have watched your grades go up a letter grade because you're doing fantastic work. Some of you, I don't know if you'll even hear this, but some of you that have not been turning in work, your grades are just sitting. They're not going anywhere. And unfortunately, they're not rising. And for some of you, this is an opportunity for you to increase your grade, make the best out of a bad situation, and help your GPA. You just got to log in and do the work. All right. As always, if you have any questions, please send me a message through the Remind on here or through our Remind app through your phones. I'm available for email. And if you have any difficulties submitting, as always, you can share it on Office 365. Or you can always take a picture and send it to me through the Remind. We've made do with whatever we got to do. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys back hard working. And again, if you have questions, just let me know. And hopefully I see you guys soon. Take care.